Hey, Professor Holly. So I'm talking to you from my car. I'm on my way to work. So I chose travel public relations. So we all know the goal of tourism industry is to stimulate the public's desire to travel and then turn this desire into the purchase of tickets. Public relations plays an important role in this process, not only in attracting visitors to destination, but also in keeping them happy once they arrive. Last year, the General Assemblies approved Governor Gina Romando's request for 5 million expenditures to rebrand the state tourism. In 2015, of September, the state awarded a $5 million contract to 3 consulting firms to develop a new state logo, tourism slogan, and marketing campaign. The state unveiled those plans on March 28, including the now infamous cooler and warmer, and it was greeted with immediate criticism. Within the first 24 hours, other problems surfaced, including the use of a skateboarded shot in Iceland in the state's tourism video and the inclusion of closed Bristol restaurant and well-known Providence chef who died last year, as well as stock photographs clearly taken in Rhode Island. When things got heated, the marketing chief, Betty Walls, resigned, and the state had to pay about $500,000 to a consultancy run by Milton Glasser, the man who created I Love New York, for the work, which included designing a new logo. Now, it seems like the mistake here is reversible. The first thing I'll do, like described in our text, is to put the situation under control. So managing crisis is an important part of public relations in travel industry, just as it is in corporate work. In the same light, based on common sense principles, crisis communication aims to minimize. The last survey highlights a series of action items that consider the person, the organization, and society carefully. In times of crisis, key actions include: 1. Address perceptions. The gravity of a crisis is directly proportional to the public's perception of it, rather than to what actually happened on the ground. 2. Listen to the people who are complaining. It is very important to try to understand what is making people angry. Anger hinders communication, and the person who are addressing will not listen to your message until they have until they have had their say. So tune in emotionally. That's number 3. Tune in emotionally. You need to know how to interpret the public's mood. Communication should not be treated as impersonal means for spreading ideas. Number 4, reason from the point of view of those who represent. Make it clear that the company is defending the interests of the people it serves. Number 5, distinguish between law and public opinion. You may be in the right and yet be wrong. It's best to have both legal advisors and communication experts on hand. So know that I have the people interests again. I'm going to do some formative research. This research will include analyzing the situation and the public. Like the following article on my reference page details, I'm going to gather information about what really people of Rhode Island want and how the people of Rhode Island will react if I were to represent them. If I were to present them my idea. For instance, would a feature footage of Iceland instead of Rhode Island be acceptable? Will this Iceland image attract tourists? Tourists who want to visit Rhode Island come to Rhode Island? Considering how cool Iceland is, will people even consider the truthfulness of the campaign, given the fact that one of the images portrayed is from Iceland? All of these questions will be asked before throwing my campaign out there to the public. Now, because the money used to fund this project is coming from taxpayers, I will get input from the state's regional tourism agencies. I'll ask them about past campaigns and approaches that were used to make those campaigns successful. Lastly, I'm going to create a major launch event explaining the rationale for my campaign. It will make the brand ambassadors, Rhode Island residents, much more comfortable with my campaign. Thank you and have a wonderful weekend. Talk to you soon.